right, I'm a tad bit late getting to this, but I'm just going to share with you this news about Alan Horn. Many of you maybe have heard it already because, like I said, I'm late getting to it. It's been about a week, and so Alan Horn, if you know, if you don't know, whatever, he was the chief creative officer at Disney, and if you recall when Rosa was asked about and a possible Alita sequel a few was it 2019? Let's say a few years ago. She said that, well, it's not a good time to call Alan Horn and ask him about a sequel. So it he was definitely one of the people who needed to be talked to, in order to get a sequel greenlit. Probably the person. Um, even though Disney only owns the distribution rights and Cameron owns the IP, it still had to go through Horn, and or Cameron still had to go through Horn. And so, with him leaving, that means that somebody else will be in place. And really, when you consider the big names at Disney right now, um, well, the big names that are left, really all you have are Feige and James Cameron. And in my opinion, Cameron has more clout than anybody else there. So, um, whoever comes in, though, they will still probably be a little bit of an obstacle. And I don't. And let me just say this too. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, but I have a lot of things running through my head right now. I don't really anticipate a sequel being greenlit right now. Why? While the company is in such, let's say, an unstable situation right now. I know I've been saying that for a minute actually. That there are a lot of changes happening at Disney, and we have to wait those changes out, and then we'll see what Disney looks like on the other side. So right now I just don't see any, especially with Alan Horn leaving. You have to wait till the next person comes in, and then you'll have to start discussing a possible sequel with them. And we can hope that the person who comes in will be more favorable to James Cameron and more favorable to the potential of an Alita sequel. And that's kind of the reason why I mentioned that James Cameron, when you consider the names that were there, the biggest names would be like James Cameron and probably Feige. So the person, whoever comes in, you would think that they would be, not respectful is not the right word. That they would give Cameron the credit that he deserves and trust him on certain things. Uh, he hasn't made too many missteps. You can argue that Terminator Dark Fate was a misstep, but he has said, well, you can say maybe he was throwing the director under the bus, but I believe him that him and Tim Miller just didn't see eye to eye. And at the end of the day, he let Tim Miller do what he wanted with the movie, and Cameron really shouldn't take the blame for that movie coming out the way it was. If we could blame him, we could blame him for picking Miller to work on the film. But at the time, I'm sure he thought that Miller would work out. But I still say that Cameron's record is pretty spotless, and Disney, or whoever comes in to take Alan Horn's place, would be wise to. I'm sorry, I didn't know I scrolled so far down without giving you something to look at. Anyway, so whoever comes in would be wise to take into consideration Cameron's record, and that he is pretty. He's a pretty safe bet if you're looking at something to invest in, if you're looking for a new IP to capitalize on. There's a leader right there, and if Cameron says, it has potential and it could be huge, or fans want it, then whoever comes in to replace Alan Horn should listen to them. So I think that is pretty much. Oh yeah, there's also a bit of news on the mostly Lucasfilm and MCU side. I haven't seen it affect many other Disney movies yet, but there are some dates being shifted around, some release dates, and they are being pushed back mostly a couple of months. The longest one appears to be uh, the Indiana Jones movie. I think that's being pushed back about a year, but so far it doesn't seem that any of Cameron's or Lightstorm's movies have been affected by that. So it could be something that is simply due to management changes and not the the climate of theaters or the moviegoers, and you know what I mean. Not the. It may not be like the climate at cinema right now. It may just be something that's internal at Disney that is responsible for the uh, the date changes. Could be the changing of Alan Horn out. It could be that. We don't know really. So uh, I just thought that might be relevant though, so I mentioned it, and hopefully none of Cameron's movies do get pushed back, because that would be, I think that would be bad for us really. Not just that we would have to wait longer, but it would just, it's harder. The longer it goes, the harder it is to sell Disney on an Alita sequel. I think so. We really want them to do something soon, but right now Disney is in a situation where they can't do anything. There's just too much flux. They're just too in flux right now. So anyway, that's it. I've gone on long enough. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you later.